Hey, don't you guys do D&D or whatever?
Yeah, we do. Would you like us to talk about that for the next hour, Mitch?
I'd like you to at least talk about it for 10 minutes.
All right, we will. Hey, guys, welcome to Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey. We have my pal, Shaun Scott, also my fellow D&D'er, and that is the butt of the joke. What's going on, Shaun?
Hi, I'm not sure.
It's like, maybe I'm not in the right place.
Apparently, we're here to talk about D&D, which, is cool, but
Yeah.
we're just going to talk about me a little bit, and that's also cool.
Okay.
So,
I don't know. We could talk about you, but I don't know. D&D's fun. We should just talk about that.
I'm good with that. Matter of fact,
No.
here, we can roll right now.
Oh, there we go. He's got the dice in the booth, baby.
That's
Okay.
right. That's what's up.
All right.
Does high roll mean we talk about Shaun?
We'll do a high-low. All right, high-low.
Okay.
High is we talk about D&D the whole time. Low is we talk about you the whole time.
All right, so anything higher than a 10.
Anything higher than a 10.
There we go. It is a 12. Oh, run now.
All right. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Hey, all right. It's D&D hour with Shaun and Mike and a little bit of Mitch. No, we won't do that. We won't do that.
I want to see it. There's a nat 20 on that.
Nice.
Beautiful.
You are the king of nat 20s. You've been rolling them nat 20s in the sessions.
That's what I do, baby. That's what I do.
Just got that touch.
You
Well,
say
hey.
that's not what I do.
Shaun is a good pal. Another one that another guy that I met at One Voice here in Dallas last year. Part of the Tim Powers crew, and we just hit it off immediately, and was able to get involved with our mutual pals Larry Oblander, Mike Cunningham, and Kat Jade, some other guests we've had on the show, and we all play Dungeons and Dragons every other week, and we post that on the YouTube. So hey, if you're listening to this and you're into the Dungeons and Dragons and want to see us play, let me give a plug for that. You can find us on YouTube at Vocal Forge. That's vocal_forge, I think, right? Because there's another Vocal Forge that's not us.
Correct.
But it's vocal_forge.
I'd hate people to think that
the YouTube.
you guys are the other ones.
Yeah,
Right.
I know. They must be horrible because we're great.
Awesome. We are
Fixing
fantastic.
my
Yes.
hair here.
We are. We have so much fun.
We do.
But anyway, so Shaun.
Shaun,
We'll talk about D&D later. We do, all joking aside, we want to know about you. We want to hear about you, how you got started, where you came from, what kind of, are you one like us where you're a creative that just really, couldn't stay away from doing something creative, so you got behind the booth, or you someone that has a different origin story. But tell us where you got your start and what prompted you to get here in the booth.
I just want to guess real quick
Oh, yeah.
God. Okay, guess.
that maybe you were raised in a town in South Carolina, somewhere
with a
near
C.
Myrtle Beach, Clairton Clear, South Carolina, or something.
Conway, Conroy,
Corningham,
I am
Cronwell.
clever and also gasted. And crazy.
Maybe you were a band geek that maybe started doing some
Okay,
theater
Mike.
in college.
How are you doing this?
Because we recorded for 4 minutes and then we lost your connection and we had to start over again.
And I always like
So-
to tell people.
Yeah.
That's my
we'll let you
problem.
tell your story though, Shaun.
Yes,
we're
please
done
tell it.
telling your story.
We love
You're
that
going to
story.
pull back the veil and everything, sure. So, yes, these fine gentlemen are correct. I was raised in this town called Conway, South Carolina, and went to college at Clemson University, where I got the theater bug at that
Go
time.
Gamecocks.
No.
Yes, sir.
No.
I lived
Do not-
down there. Clemson fans were.
Clemson Crimson Tide, right? Isn't that what it is? The Clemson Crimson Tide?
This might be the first guest that I've run
Whose head
off.
explodes.
I don't care about sports at all, so this is just me being a
You see
jerk.
the subtitle on my name there, Instigator?
Yeah, okay, perfect. So
That's what
we
you
can
know.
be friends.
We
All right.
can. Gather.
Clemson, great school.
Clemson, yes, it is a fine institution of high learning. And I was doing marching band because I have always been musical or creative. My mother was. Lots of people in my family have been creative in different ways. And so after marching band, I wanted something else and got into theater there and continued after college. And until my wife got pregnant and realized that theater takes way too much time out of my day, out of my schedule. So I dropped it
Been
like
there.
a rock. Yes.
Yep.
Just dropped it altogether. And, because of, kids and stuff, you kind of have to reprioritize your life. So I did. But I never lost the drive. I never lost the interest. So I kind of kept it there simmering for years. I learned that there was this thing called voice acting, but somewhere when my kids were young, but I had no idea how to get into it. I didn't know anything about it. This was, like in the early 2000s, and I just didn't have the knowledge. So I just let it sit there. And then a really weird thing happened many, many years later. I was on Twitter. An acquaintance of mine had written a book, and she was looking to convert her book into like an audio drama type thing, a podcast of some sort. And she was looking for people to fill out some of the roles. And I was just like, ooh, that could be fun. Like, never read the book, but yeah, I could do it. So I threw my hat in the ring, and she said, yeah, that'd be great. I've got a character in mind for you, this professor type, blah, 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 that'd be great. I said, cool. She said, I'm not ready yet, but in about a month or so, I'll start getting people together, and then we'll start doing reads. It'll be great. So cool. So a month goes by. I hear nothing. And then I see sometime after that, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, she posted that, oh, my cast is all together. We can't wait. We're really excited about this thing, and da-da-da-da. So I was like, let me check my DMs because I don't remember seeing anything. And sure enough, we didn't have anything. And so I pinged her and I said, hey, did you make a different decision? And she's like, yeah, I decided to go with someone else. And I was like, okay, cool, block. I blocked her. I really did.
It feels like a block moment.
I blocked her because I didn't need that kind of energy in my life. I was done. So the very next day, because all of our technology listens to us, you're listening right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
I got an ad on the face of books, and the ad was for this thing called Such a Voice. And I didn't know what it was, but it was offering a seminar for like $12 for an hour and a half to come learn about voice acting. So I was like, I got $12. So I went to it, and the whole time I'm sitting there kind of like, okay, you're trying to get money out of me, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna scam you by learning everything from you and then taking it and running and becoming a voice actor. Like, that was my whole plan. But then, I listened to it and I was like, oh man, they've got some interesting things to say. I did like a one-on-one voice assessment after that with one of the people there, and I knew that it was going to be a hard sell. Like, I knew going into it that they were going to try to sell me on this thing.
Yeah.
So I walked into this thing like a thug. I was just like, what's up? What you trying to talk about? What's going on? And we did the vocal assessment, and this woman says, yeah, you've got a good voice. Lots of people have good voices. It doesn't make them good voice actors. You really would need some training, some coaching in order to become a good voice actor. I'm like, uh-huh. And so she said, my company offers services to coach and, teach you. We'll do your demo for you. But you can get those services at a lot of different places. The choice is yours as to where you want to get coaching from. And I said, you're trying to trick me. You tricked me by not selling me. I won't fall for it. I'm buying from you.
It cracks me up. You're trying to be a thug because I know how nerdy you are.
Yeah, I know, man. Like, look,
the real meeting was like, we know you're soft, Shaun.
Yes.
let me have this, please. Immediately crumbled. I immediately signed up, right? And that's where I met Tim Powers. Because Tim became my coach, which was life-changing. Like, I don't say that lightly. That's not a joke. It was literally life-changing to have Tim as my coach. And he trained me hard and well. And that's what got me into voice acting. And it's just been a crazy, wild ride ever since then.
Now, how long ago was this?
I started in 2019, so right at the cusp of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So when you started with Tim, and you're learning, and you're improving, I'm guessing, because I know he does that too. Timprov. What is, like, what are you holding on to? What are you gravitating towards when you really first start learning VO?
For me personally, I had to do a lot of unlearning. Remember, I had a theatrical background.
Right.
I did a lot of
Stop
Shakespeare.
Yelling. Yeah.
Oh my God. And I did a lot of outdoor theater. So very projecting all the way to the back,
Yeah.
So when I first started doing voice acting with Tim, every read was, like, just amping it out, and he was just like stop that. Like, you've got to be more intimate. Like, you're talking into someone's ear hole. You're not speaking to a loud audience like that. And so for me, it was really about pulling back and learning to embody the script, the verbiage, whatever it is, like, and feel that and be that in that moment and let that shine through, versus just trying to make sure my words are heard by every person in the audience, which is what I was doing before.
Yeah.
Right.
I think everyone that got into this bit, I mean, not everyone, but like us schmoes got into this and had to relearn something. I mean, I know I got it. When I started, I thought everything was a bit. You know, I thought every commercial was a bit. I thought everything I read, every narration was a bit, and I was trying to figure out what the character sounded like. And I had to learn, no, some things are just literally you. And I'm like, me? But I sound horrible. So I know. I had to learn how to trust me and trust my voice.
Same.
What'd you have to learn, Mitch?
Oh, well. I think I had to learn that.
Mitch is like, you're not supposed to be interviewing me.
Oh, I think it's relevant, I guess, because
yeah,
we have a lot of theater people in here, and I'm not a boisterous person, so I think more letting myself out of the box and letting go. Like, I can be an animated character and be all weird, but when it's me, I'm like, so what? I want to sell this thing to you, and it's like totally cool. It's like, no, be nice and pretend like you like the thing. You like the thing, right? I'm like, shit, I gotta like the thing. Like, that's all.
Yeah, you came in like 5 years too late, Mitch, because there was that time where it was like that, and the whatever guy was what everyone was looking for.
I'm just waiting for that wave to come back.
Yeah, everything's cyclical.
I'm just waiting in the water, like, watching everyone pass.
I mean, announcer guy's kind of making a comeback, so you never know. You know,
heck yeah. So you said, I don't know if you mentioned this on camera or not. You don't do voices, quote unquote. You're mostly you.
Yeah,
which I love.
It's weird. Like, I'm kind of a weird dichotomy because, for example, I love animation. I love video games. I am a big consumer of both. Do not wish to perform in either. It's not to say that I wouldn't. It's just to say that I prefer not to, and I tend to shy away from that. And I gravitate towards things that are more informational, educational. Like, I'm really big on e-learning and corporate reads, corporate narration, medical narration. These are the things that kind of ring my bell more than a lot of pure character work does. Although, I will say, in the last 6 months or so, I've been doing a lot more character work. I've been in many audio dramas in the last little bit, so that might be a sign. I don't know. And even though I said I don't do voices, you guys can both attest, I have done voices. You've heard me do voices. And a lot of that, what you're hearing from me, is experimentation, because I haven't been doing that. I don't trust myself a lot to do it. So I feel safe when we do our table reads for the show that we're in.
Okay.
And I feel like empowered to give it a shot and try some stuff. So I'm kind of coming out of my shell a little and trying out some new stuff.
Oh, yeah, I'm so excited for you.
That's been fun. If you haven't been able to tell, those of you who do listen to us, you know, Mitch and I are involved in the Shoestring TV stuff. Shaun has been roped into that, and he now plays Terry Briscoe's father on the upcoming Topaz and Stillman spinoff from Leo Braun. So it's been a blast. We've done a couple table reads with him, and Shaun is just hilarious.
Can we stop right there for just a second? Because I got a bone to pick with Terry Briscoe anyway. I hope he's listening to this.
He will be. We'll make sure.
Probably will, yeah.
So let's get something clear. Terry came to me and said, hey, I've got this cool project I'd like for you to get involved with, right? I was like, yeah, absolutely. Whatever you want to do, bro. Like, let's do this. So for years now that I've known this man has been telling me, you sound just like Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I don't hear it. Like, I don't personally hear it, but I know other people do hear it. So I've accepted that.
I can hear it
a little bit, and your cadence.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine.
Not like just like him, but I can hear how people can say that.
Yeah. Sure. So anyway, he's been giving me this grief for years, and I'm like, whatever, man, shut up. It's fine. Anyway, I agreed to this. I talked to Jason, super great guy, and they described.
That's Jason Beard.
Jason Beard, yes. And they describe the character. I'm going to play the main character's father, and and they kind of talk about him a little bit. And I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds really great. Nice meaty little role, blah blah blah. It sounds good. And I get to reading the first episode, and I realize that this man has me playing a black physicist.
Oh.
And I was like, you son of a...
About charismatic physicist.
He did it. He wrote your Neil deGrasse Tyson-ness into the show.
Yeah. So now I'm, when I'm doing those reads, I am like in my brain going, okay, try not to sound like Neil deGrasse Tyson when you're talking. But it's also very difficult to not sound that way with like the scientific stuff that he starts talking about.
Right.
So,
well, you get, and I don't want to spoil anything, but you do get to play around a little bit different in episode 2, or is it 3?
Great.
3, yeah.
3,
yeah. That's what we just did. Was 3, yeah.
I love the role. Like I love it so much. It is greatness, and everybody out there, please, when it comes out, please check it out. It's going to be really fun. So yeah, Terry. Yeah, I haven't forgotten.
Yeah, Terry.
I have a question. I come across like a new path or a new restaurant in my town, or maybe a new skill I didn't know I had. When you're finally like really getting into doing voices and feeling comfortable to play, what does that feel like? I feel like I've almost tapped into a lot of what I can do. It's not true. That's what it feels like. What does the newness of that feel like?
It feels like doing improv. And by that, I mean, it feels like I'm riding a bicycle on the edge of a cliff. Like it's exhilarating, but it's really scary.
Wow.
And again, a lot of this has to do with the fact that I've just shied away from it for years now. And watching other people do it, and like Mike is like amazing at it. Like I could tell you stories about things I've seen Mike do, and I'm like oh my God. So for me,
That's Mike Pelletier.
Yes,
he's talking about.
Are we sure?
I don't know. Are you? I don't mean to assume.
Yeah, yes, it was you I was referring to, the host of the show. But I've seen peers who are able to fully embody these voices, these characters, and it's a small amount of envy on my part. Man, I wish I could do that. And I'm starting to try to change that to, I think I can do that. To hopefully, yes, I can absolutely do that. I just need to find my voice, find what I can do, what I'm comfortable doing, what I should stay away from. So a lot of what I'm doing, like when I'm doing these things, I'm like I said, I'm experimenting. I'm seeing what can my voice do for me? What can I expand it into? And some things are going to hit, some things are going to miss, and just being comfortable with all of it.
Yeah,
that's exactly
and
right.
I'm on the flip side of that because, you do the audiobooks and the corporate narration and stuff. That's where I don't trust myself, and you definitely have a great voice for that. You have one of those voices that I could just listen to. I mean, we had the last interview we did was Bill Ancio. I don't know if you know Bill, but he just has this silky smooth. Could listen to him read the phone book type of a voice, and you fall in that category, where you just have this ease about, the words that come out of your mouth, and and I can totally, see that long form narration, that corporate narration, that audiobook, and being able to listen to for long periods of time. So I don't trust me. I don't feel like that's in my wheelhouse. So that's where I'm out of my comfort zone, when I do those types of auditions and stuff. Haven't gotten a job doing them, so that's, probably part of it as well. So, but
yeah,
that's what I really love about voice acting as an industry. There's so many little niches. And every time I go to a conference, which I'm going to VO Atlanta in a couple weeks, I'm really excited about that. You learn about some little niche you never heard of before. And it's like, oh, what? You can do that? Like, people do this? And it's really interesting because, yeah, some of it's like, oh, yeah, well, that's not for me. But, I didn't know about toys, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Someone at One Voice.
Christina Malizia.
And I didn't even, it wasn't even her. It was like another person that I met.
Oh, was it?
Yeah. And I was like, what do you mean toys? And he was like, yeah, I do voice for toys. I'm like, how? And it was so interesting. Now, I'm not personally interested in doing it myself, but I'm really interested in knowing that it can be done. And so I like the idea that there's all these possibilities that exist in voice acting that some of us are just barely seeing the tips of. And, you never know. The next cool thing for you could be like right around the corner. You don't even see it yet.
Right.
Yeah. That's a great way of looking at it. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I mean, there's so much room for all of us to find those things. And yeah, I would love, because I want to do animation. I want to do video games. If that doesn't happen for me, but somehow I fall into, being the voice of, I don't know, Baby Farts a Lot or whatever, for Mattel.
Baby that farts.
Hey, you know what? If that's something that they think I'm great for, I'm all for it.
I think one of the bigger lessons I've had to learn. By the way, I'm not even going to address Baby Farts a Lot.
I'm just imagining Mike as Baby.
I think that might be part of. I think that might be part of ChatGPT at the end here.
I've learned to just kind of ride the wave. I'm not in control of who hires me. The only thing I'm in control of is, did I audition and did I do my best when I audition, right? I don't get to choose who hires me. So I'm just putting my best out there and hoping I get hired and kind of going with what happens. So I'm looking at projects differently than I did before. When I first got into it, I was like, I'm only wanting to do e-learning, so I'm only looking at e-learning. Like that was my mentality when I first started. Mm-hmm. And now I'm going, that looks interesting. I'm gonna go for that. Like, it doesn't matter what that is anymore. I'm even starting to audition for some video games, which frightens me. But I'm going with that gut instinct of go with the thing that interests you, because I'll put the most into that if I get it. And so that's why suddenly I'm in like 4 or 5 concurrent audio dramas. Like, I don't even know how that happened. Like, it just I ended up in 4 sci-fi audio dramas at the same time.
Daggum, man. Hook us up. I love audio dramas.
Like, I was like, how did this happen? And then, I had to remember my characters among them. Like, okay, well, I'm the priest in this one, but no, I'm the alien circus performer in this one.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, that was. So I'll tell you quickly about that one. That was called The Mysterious Chirp, and my good friend Holly is the director of that, and she is half writing the scripts, meaning she's writing some things scripted, and then some things it's like, yeah, just go do this.
Ooh,
and it's semi-improv.
Nice. Oh,
and
man, how fun.
Yeah, it's bicycle on the edge.
Bicycle on the edge, yeah.
It's multiples of us in character, like being recorded, just vamping, at, just being ourselves and coming up with stuff, and it feels so crazy sometimes, but the things just flow.
That sounds so fun.
Is that still in the recording? I mean, is that like live somewhere where you can listen to it now, or is it like not released yet?
The first episode is out, and now that you've asked, I don't have the information right in front of me to tell you that. But yes.
No!
When we pause and come back, you can tell us.
Yeah, we'll make sure because we will pause and we will write a script and we will come back and have fun performing it. At that point, we'll plug your everything that you want to plug.
Oh dear God!
But not right now.
Not right now. No, we got another 20 minutes of talking.
Another 60 minutes of talking about. So, you have been a performer almost your whole life, or maybe your whole life, and then I'm going to talk about D&D, because there's so many people in this industry that love D&D, that D&D either brought them into this, or they met D&D friends here, and now that's a part of a thing, and then they're doing voices or being characters in that. Mm-hmm. How much did that play into your, your acting, your wanting to be somebody else?
So for me, D&D came after voice acting.
Okay.
I am relatively new to D&D. I've only been playing for going on 3 years. So I've been a voice actor longer than I've been a D&D player.
Interesting.
Okay.
I got into D&D completely separate from voice acting altogether. It was a whole different thing that got me into D&D, and I've just kind of dovetailed it into voice acting when I realized, oh wait, voice actors would probably be really good at being characters. So it's really the one thing I'll say that D&D does very well in terms of how it relates to voice acting, improvisation.
Yeah, baby.
And really being able to dive into a characterization of someone. It forces you, if you want to play honestly and earnestly in the game, it forces you to really embody someone and think the way they think and act the way they act. And if there's a voice attached to that, fine, but it doesn't have to have a voice attached to it. It's really about acting, right? So for me, D&D really enhances my voice acting because it forces me into a character who is not me and who has different motivations than I do. And I have to be authentic. I have to be true to what that character would do and say and feel. And that's really what we're trying to strive for, generally speaking, in voice acting as well. Even if I'm doing an e-learning, I still try to embody what it is I'm talking about, what I'm trying to educate.
You have to be believable.
Yes. If I don't sound genuine, then someone may not be as receptive to the information.
Right.
So that is really the crossroads for me. Is D&D is helping me with improv, and it's helping me with really diving into a character and understanding that person and being that person and pulling the things out of that person that I might not be able to do if I didn't really dive into it.
I mean, that's a great answer. That might be the deepest answer we've gotten out of a D&D.
Deep, man.
Deep, baby.
I mean, I know you've joked about but I know, Mitch. I mean, if you did play, you would love it.
I've played. I do love it. I just don't have the time.
You just don't have the time.
It's just such
you gotta make the time.
We
don't have the time
endeavor.
either, but we do it.
Okay, and I also like other things more. So there's a layer of things on top that I like more.
Well,
it's so cool. It's such an interesting world. It's got everything I love. It's fantasy. I love fantasy. I love magic. I love creatures. I love everything about D&D. And you guys talking about it actually never makes me mad. It's so fun. I'll pretend like it makes me mad. But no, it's great to pretend to step out for a second for whomever. It's great.
Well, and I mean, that's, just to back up from my story, that's one of the ways one of the things that got me into voice acting is that I didn't discover D&D until I was, of late age as well. I've been playing probably since 2015. But I was the DM with all the voices. I would craft my campaigns and figure out, okay, this NPC, how is he going to sound? This NPT, how is she going to sound? And I had a friend who was trying to get into voice acting, and she said, you should talk to this guy that I've been talking to named David Rosenthal. And I'm like, okay. And that that set the ball rolling 2 years ago. So yeah, D&D got me into voice acting. And I know that I'm not the only one.
So you didn't get into voice acting out of spite like I did. Got it.
No, not out of spite. No.
What's
I got
funny,
into
Shaun?
the fun.
I think that same thing happened to me. I didn't go somewhere. I think I had someone from such a voice or a similar company. I went to an online seminar or something.
Oh, mine was online as well.
Okay.
I would have invested gas.
Yeah, right. I think that would have roped me in. But yeah, I got the call, and surprisingly, I didn't do it. I was like, I'm going to go do it a different way. And I wonder now if that was the correct way to do it. I mean, based on everyone who's gone through Tim loves Tim and loves the people around him. It seems like a really cool group to be a part of. What does that feel like to have such a big gathering of people that you've known from the start that have your back?
It's actually, I mean, you guys know this. Voice acting is a pretty solitary existence, and it's imperative that as voice actors we build our network, right? And having a network that was already kind of semi pre-made made it a lot easier in certain situations to feel comfortable, to feel heard, seen, all of those things. And Tim, as a mentor and a coach, is simply phenomenal. I was very fortunate that he was the coach that I received. I will say simply that for the people who went through that service and who received Tim as a coach, those people, I think, really benefited quite well.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I've yet to hear a bad thing about Tim. I love Tim, just in the little bit. I am not one of the people that was coached by him, but, got to be his friend. And so, it's
I'm
great
still
that
waiting
y'all came where you are.
for him to accept my friend Facebook request. So I'm still not sure how he feels about me. But right.
Tim was one of the first guests we had on this podcast. There was, we went through probably 15 episodes where it was just Mitch and I talking like idiots. And then we finally started trying to get people on, and Tim was one of the first people I asked, and he said, I'd love to. And he was a great guest, and I think it's about time that, we reach back out and ask him to come on sometime this year. Talk to that guy again, because he's a good dude, and he's got a wealth of wisdom.
It does.
And we can say, hey, when we first talked to you, we didn't know a whole lot about you, but now we've had everybody you've coached on, and they all sing your praises, so... what do you got to say for yourself?
What do you have to say for yourself?
Just make sure you ask him, what do you have to do to be a mic dropper?
I did. I asked him. He said, coach with me. I'm like, yeah, I will.
That's it.
Still have it, but I will. I mean, other than he's with GVAA now, so I've done a couple of Timprovs with him at GVAA, but.
Incredible.
So... I'm still blown away, like, when I hear someone say, I love or like e-learning and corporate narration. For me, that's like the bread and butter, so to speak, and I don't like bread. It's something you eat, It's something that sustains you, but maybe it's not the end-all, be-all. To know that people love it, I'm like, thank goodness for there's nurses and doctors out there, there's firefighters, and there's Shaun Scott who loves e-learning, and there's me who just wants to do weird voices.
I love it. Like, that's not me just saying I prefer it.
I know, it's so strange.
Well, here's the thing. Like, for me, number one, I don't have to be a character when I'm doing that type of work. I can just basically be myself, be clear and concise and all that stuff. So from the standpoint of doing the reads are straightforward. It's make sure you convey the information, right? And don't stumble over words. The other thing you have to remember is the pay. Oh my God, sir, the pay is so good. You don't understand how much money I make doing this stuff.
That's great.
No, and look, I'm being exaggerating here a little bit. I do pretty decently doing that. Not enough to retire, and certainly not enough to have it as my main job. But what I will say is, I'm making the thousands. Like, it's that kind of money. So it's hard to not turn it away when someone brings you 19,000 words, and they're like, "Hey, can you do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll charge you 30 cents a word. You good with that?"
Yeah.
They're like,
no problem.
And I'm like,
well, and correct me if I'm wrong. You've got repeat customers. I mean, you've been doing this long enough where you have companies and places that just come back to you where you're not auditioning for these. They're like, hey, Shaun, got another job for you.
Correct. Now I still work them. If time goes by, I pull the string a little bit. And hey, how's it going?
You got to. Yeah.
But yeah, I do have a few repeaters who I don't need to prove myself to them. And it's nice because every so often they'll swing around and say, hey, we got this new project, how fast can you get it turned around? I'm like, oh, yeah, I can do that in a couple of days. And, make quick, nice, consistent payment from it. I think, too, for me, and not to take away from the artistry of voice acting, because I do strongly believe in that, I mainly got into this because I wanted to make some money. Okay? Let's just keep it real. All right, I wanted to make money. And I learned quickly and early that commercial work, corporate work, narration work, stuff like these things make money instantly and a little faster, and the rates are a little higher. So I got into it already liking doing that stuff, and then the money that I earn from doing that stuff, when I compare it to doing other things, it's like, this is, I think I would rather do this than that. So it is not simply just me as an artist going, I genuinely prefer e-learning and narration because it feeds my soul. It does feed my soul, but it also feeds my bank account.
Well, that's the thing is when you say you enjoy it, I believe you. You know, I mean, if you're not enjoying it, why else would you be doing? I mean, yeah, you want the money, but I can't imagine being in the booth going, this is so incredibly boring and I hate doing this. It's a good thing they're paying me a lot because, man, this is sucking my soul out. No, I can tell when you're talking about it that you do love doing the e-learning, but you're like, again, you're very well spoken. You're very, you have an energy about you that I think fits with that type of genre, and you have a natural way of speaking. I always feel like when I'm doing an audition for those, I get in there and I'm like, all right, let me put on Plastic Man, and here I am talking about the thing, and I just don't sound as natural as I want to. Whereas I feel like, you know, listening to you, that's something you excel at, and so, you know, more power to you, man.
I genuinely, and this is me with no jokes or anything, what makes me happy in life is helping people. The job that I do, my main day job, has revolved around helping people one way or another for the last 20-ish years. And even within the realm of voice acting, I like knowing that the work that I do, more often than not, is helping someone learn, change, grow, whatever the case may be. One of my clients, they do training materials for police constables to teach them how to serve warrants, how to de-escalate situations, all kinds of things that constables need to learn when they are dealing with the public. That, to me, for example, is extremely meaningful. We have seen many situations where law enforcement officers get into situations where they are unable to de-escalate, or the things get out of hand, and maybe a bit more training could have been beneficial. So for me, doing a project like that, while it pays me well, it really speaks to me because I want to participate in the process of making something better.
I must just bow my head and
in silence.
Yeah, you got real with that, and that's excellent, man. That's a cool way of looking at things. We don't always look at stuff like that. We look at things as a job, and that's a good piece of advice to go into something and, you know, and get that fulfillment out of it, even if it's not, you know, the craziest character or whatever. If it is an e-learning or something, I'm gonna try to think about that when I audition for those. It's like, all right, how's this going to help somebody, and how's it going to help me, knowing it's going to help those people learn this thing. So that's very
cool. It kind of
cool.
makes me sad that I haven't been going in that way. Normally, like,
I know,
I'll go in, like, I want to make somebody feel something or laugh or, like, feel comfortable. Maybe with e-learning for myself or corporate narration, make them not feel uncomfortable like I've felt when I've listened to some of those things. Like, okay, I can listen now. I don't have to be like, ugh.
It's get all heavy and stuff. I'll lighten it up a little bit. So the last day job I had, I decided that I wanted to see if I could do that company's, like, learning material, right? Mm-hmm. So I found out, like, I did some digging and found out who was responsible for making all the training videos, because I'd taken one and it was crap. It was so bad. It was obviously recorded in someone's office on their laptop microphone. It was really bad. So anyway, weeks go by and I figure out who it is. I get a meeting with that person, and I walk in. I'm already a professional voice actor at this point, right? So I walk in and I'm like, hey, you know, I'm here to solve a problem for you. And so she's like, what is it? I said, well, I took your blah, blah, blah training, you know, a couple weeks ago, and the audio quality was terrible. You know, the pacing was bad, you know, da-da-da-da. And I can offer you so many services that are above and beyond what you've got right now. Whoever's doing this work for you, I can do better than they do. And she looked me dead in my mouth. She said, I'm the one that recorded those.
I
said, and I can tell you worked really hard at it.
Hang on a sec. This shoe tastes so horrible. I got to get it out of my mouth.
I kept going. I was like, but I think I can help you. And I did it. I got them to let me do their work, and they paid me. Because I was like, well, I won't do this for free. so, and
Can you teach me how to backpedal like that? I don't think I've ever gotten out of a hole that deep.
The sweat running down my back when she said, because she was not smiling. Like, I came in full of like bluster. That was a humbling moment for me, by the way, because I was like, yeah, your product's crap and I can make it better. And then she's like, yeah, I did. I was like, oh. Oh God!
I thought I did a good job.
Lady tried her best. She did the best she could do, and I just came just jump all over it. But I did manage to, like, I was like, here's my demos, here's my card. Like, please go listen to my demos, see if it, And then she did. Like, okay, yeah, blah, 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 let's talk about rates. And it worked out. And I'm still doing work for that company, even though I'm no longer working there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, hey, there's a testament to, come in blustery, put your foot in your mouth, backpedal, and you too can be successful.
I bet Mike could do that for his day job too. I'm sure there's someone secret there that would.
I work for a very large company, so I'd have to do some digging, but yeah.
And he's an important guy.
Very important.
I'm not that important.
He's an important guy for that very large company.
They call you on the weekends. I know you're important.
I know. Yeah.
And what's your region? Can I at least know your region?
Your region is the central region.
And how many
job
regions
I'm not going to talk about.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about the
there
job.
There are 5 regions in the United States.
Okay,
I have the central region.
One of 5 important dudes. I've never been that guy at a job. So maybe like on the fries at McDonald's, I was the guy. But that's about it. So they need you, Mike, in 2 ways.
Yeah, and they do pay me well. So I'm not going to quit anytime soon. The voiceover thing, I never had delusions of grandeur that it was going to take over and let me retire early, but it definitely is not. I definitely make a lot more money at the day job, so I think I'm going to keep it for a while.
Keep it a little bit.
As long as they'll have me.
Concur.
All right. Well,
this is the point, right, Mike?
This is the point. I think it is. So go ahead,
we ask,
Mitch. The question.
This is generally a Mike question. He forgot this question. What's next? I want to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought you were. Yeah. So,
no, I'm not ready for.
Hey, Shaun, what are your dreams, huh? What are the things that you hope for? What's that one big thing that you could look at and go, yeah, I finally made it?
When you lay your head on your pillow.
Honestly, I don't dream like that about voice acting. I'm not looking for. So I don't care about getting famous. I don't care about getting rich. I care about doing work I like, period. And so I don't know what's next. I will tell you that from a personal voice acting growth perspective, I feel like it's time for me to get some more coaching. So I will probably focus on that this year, figuring out what kind of coaching I want and where to get it from. It's probably time for me to get new demos made because those demos were made in 2019. So I don't sound like that anymore. I sound way better. So I need to do that. And that's kind of where my head is right now. It's really more on bettering myself, updating myself to the standards that I've now set for myself so that I can push forward and get other things that I want to do. But I don't have a specific voice acting goal. Like, I want to get cast in this thing, or I want to do the e-learning for this. I'm riding the wave, baby. I'm just going to be like,
that's a cool way.
All right.
Seeing what comes up and surfing it.
We call that in the business world sustainable growth.
Yes.
That's the trajectory you're on, is that sustainable growth.
That's right. Incremental improvement.
You're not reaching. You're just doing what feels right in the moment. Man, I wish I had that any day of my life.
I'm like, I want the thing. I want it.
Yeah, there's only the journey. I'm here for the journey, man. I'm here to meet.
Already living the dream.
I really am. I'm getting so much out of voice acting that I never thought I would get, and now the things I crave out of it are things like this, like meeting really cool, interesting people, and getting new experiences, and just these are the things that I live for. So for me, it's like, you tell me what I'm going to. VOA. I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to meet a bunch of people in a couple of weeks, and then
Mitch is going to be there.
Yes, I'm going to meet Mitch in person. I'm going to find you. I will find you.
I will find you. And I'll make you do weird voices.
That's coercion. Like, that's hot.
I'll find you.
These are my dreams. My dreams are really about building that network out, authentically meeting people and connecting with them, and just like learning about stuff and people and things and seeing where the road takes me.
All right.
That's amazing.
That's good. You got a good head on your shoulders, Mr. Scott.
It's a big.
All right, now, Mitch. Now, how about your question?
Is there anyone on your radar that you could shout out right now that we could look into, chat with, maybe someone we need to get to know or the listeners need to get to know?
Yes.
You're acting so well right now.
Listen.
Now that you mention it.
I am an actor, okay?
I see it.
I never said I couldn't act. I just said I'm doing e-learning. I can act my ass off, okay?
You're killing it.
Spit it out.
Now that you mention it, there is someone that I've thought of that would be a good addition. It's my good friend Aaron Mead, M-E-A.
What?
Aaron Mead is a voice actor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who recently got a very nice vocal booth built in her house. So you should interview her for that reason alone. Her booth is stupid. It is ridiculous, and I want it. Plus, she's a darn good friend. She's a great voice actor, and I think she'd be a good person to talk to.
Got a little booth envy. Yeah, John and I are in a little Discord of local Dallas VO actors, and I have had a couple conversations with her, and I don't believe I've actually met her, but we almost did.
To her in Atlanta, she will be there.
Well, I will not be there because I'm cruising.
Yeah. You're important in this matter. I'm talking to Mitch right now.
I get to meet everybody. We don't care about cruises, Michael. we're going to be meeting our friends. You're going to be meeting strangers.
I know, and they'll all have foreign accents, and I will not be able to talk to them. They'll be all sweaty and hairy.
I love
it. But yeah, by the time this airs, VO Atlanta will be over, so you will have already met Aaron.
Oh yeah, I met her already, and you have too.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're
in the future right now. Oh, this is terrifying.
All right.
What do I
do?
do?
Yeah, we'll definitely need to look up Aaron and have her on the show.
For sure.
All right. Well, hey, Mitch, I think it's time to play around. Don't you think it's time to play around?
Are you feeling a certain way?
I'm feeling like it's time to act. And I think as much as Shaun has said, he doesn't like to do characters, we need to make him do some crazy, stupid character.
Maybe like a Neil
deGrasse Tyson
type.
Yeah, I think so.
Uh-oh. Time out.
Yeah. That's code. You don't even know what that means, Miss, but that's an inside joke. You have to watch Vocal Forge to know what that is.
I'm out of here, you guys. I don't think.
All right, well, hey, we're going to pause. We're going to come up with something really wacky and come on back and perform it for you.
Okay.
Oh, boy, we went with the highbrow humor on this one.
So brow, so high.
Oh, boy.
We're setting standards high today.
Standards bad today.
We did a callback today. This is a script, an Arthurian script about babies. Sir farts a lot, Lady Puddlebum, and Sir drools a lot. Mike, do you wanna open the scene for us?
The scene opens in a nursery. In the center, there is a giant, glittery binky, stuck inside a toy stone. Sir Farts-a-Lot, Lady Puddlebum, and Sir Drools-a-Lot stand in a circle around it.
Well, I'm obviously the most worthy. I have perfect posture, and I can already sit up straight without toppling over like some babies.
You're not even the loudest baby in the room, Lady Puddlebum. You know who is? Me.
I have the greatest destiny. I'm practically drooling out prophecy. See? My mouth is a fountain of future greatness.
Absolutely not. Drool does not make you king, Sir Drools a lot. I have been practicing my royal wave.
Oh, that's not a wave, that's a flail. I am the chosen one. You know what they say. Whoever can make the most noise is the true ruler of the Binky.
No, absolutely.
But prophecy says whoever grows the biggest belly is the one.
You guys are babies. I am clearly the one who deserves the Binky because I have the cleanest hands. Look. Ooh. Oh.
No, you don't. You're disgusting.
Oh.
I can't even see your hands under all the gunk. What have you been digging in? Poop? On your fingernails?
Absolutely not.
Digging that.
Ugh. Oh, frightful. Oh, you think cleanliness matters? Look at this face.
Oh.
I have the face of a ruler.
Ruler?
Okay. What if we just share the Binky? Huh?
Share the Binky? Oh,
Yes.
no. The Binky is too precious to share. It's my precious.
What is this?
Only one person can have it, and it's me!
No! No! The prophecy said it's my turn. I must rule on it.
Fine. If you won't share, we'll settle this like proper royalty. With tummy tickle contest. Whoever laughs the hardest gets the Binky.
You're on. I warn you. My farts are the real weapon here.
Prepare to feel my epic tummy jiggles.
I can't believe I'm doing this with such unrefined babies, but prepare yourselves for the royal tummy tickles of destiny.
Oh, that one was solid. I can't breathe from all the laughing.
I am the chosen one.
You two are ridiculous.
I can't breathe.
And so, the baby knights learned that in the end, the Binky was not meant for any one of them, but for all of them. Or at least, until snack time. And scene. You know what's funny? That
farts.
voice didn't put me out of breath. It was all the farts.
Because where you're breathing, you're supposed
Yeah,
to be
and
breathing,
I also,
you're farting.
at one point, somebody in the video is going to see, I think I blew a nose bubble. At one point, I was laughing and went, bloop. I went, oh, gosh.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's two
Hey,
characters.
that if that doesn't speak baby, I don't know what does.
That's perfect.
Well,
Baby all
yeah.
the way.
That was bizarre. but
Easily
that's the
top
way we like
5 weirdest things I've read. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never audition for anything quite so strange.
At least two of us sounded like a baby. You guys, well done. I went straight back to old British, barely British lady. So congrats,
Well.
you guys, for keeping up. Hey, Shaun, before you go, we had mentioned an audio drama you were on.
Yes.
Did you end up? Could you tell us that? Everyone's dying to hear it.
Yeah.
Everyone's waiting until the end of the podcast to hear about this.
Yeah, what is this thing that you're
Entire
involved
line
in?
of people just waiting to hear this.
They're waiting.
The main one that's kind of out now is called The Mysterious Chirp. And you can find them on Instagram under The Mysterious Chirp. That's the easiest way to catch up with it, and it's the show dates for release. What makes The Mysterious Chirp very interesting, by the way, is that in addition to voice actors, there are actual scientists who are participating.
Oh, so interesting.
In one of the episodes, we had someone from NASA Mission Control from the Apollo 7 mission.
Wow.
I may be wrong on which mission, but it was one of the Apollo scientists who was playing themselves on the show and giving us a lot of really interesting information and background about the Apollo missions. So,
wow. Well, if that doesn't make you want to listen to it, I don't know what would.
That might be one of the coolest
Shaun.
things
I don't care.
I've
He's
heard.
in it. I want to hear this Apollo guy.
Yeah, I'm ridiculous on that show.
That's
right.
cool. Well, thanks for
Shaun. Yeah, thanks for coming. Great time. Good hanging out with you once again. And yeah, you guys have fun in VO Atlanta, or have had fun by the time everyone listens to it.
We will have had
You
fun.
already had so much fun.
My arms hurt from all the hugging.
And I probably got a tan on this really pale face.
Don't tell Mike about the thing that happened at the place. Remember, that was a secret.
I wasn't going to tell, but you brought it up.
What happens in Atlanta stays in Atlanta.
That's right, as it should.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, awkward
Thank
goodbyes.
you, everybody.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Awkward goodbyes.
Double hand wave.
Goodbye, double hand wave, and X's and all the things. Bye,
Double salutes.
Bye.
Double salutes. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.